So the official patch notes for the upcoming mid-season update coming out tomorrow has officially been released, and so in today's video we're going to go over all of the different character changes in the game, so sit back and relax and let's jump right into it. Up first is Captain America, who seems to be getting another buff. He will now be able to shield himself with Living Legend while jumping. They are also increasing Vibranium's energy saw's projectile speed from 60 meters a second to 80 meters a second, and the ricochets from 100 meters a second to 150 meters a second. His ultimate charge has been brought down to 2800, down from 3100, so we will now get it a lot faster. And lastly, they are separating Sentinel Strike from melee attacks. He will now be able to use melee attacks while his shield is thrown or during team up ability charge Aegis state to activate the first 2 hits of Sentinel Strike. Additionally, while airborne, using melee attacks will no longer trigger the Super Soldier Slam ability. So it seems Captain America may no longer be the worst tank in the game. Doctor Strange is getting a little nerf to his health. They are bringing it down to 600, whereas before it was 650. I'm not too sure if this is going to be a noticeable difference, but you know, we'll see. Groot's Thorn Lash Wall will get a small buff to its placement range, as it will now have a max placement range of 18 meters, which is up from 15. Magneto is getting a buff to his basic attack damage, as it will now deal 40 points of damage, up from 35. However, they are nerfing his Metallic Curtain ability by increasing the energy consumption from 50 a second to 65. They are also reducing its maximum duration from 2 seconds to 1.5. Thor seems to be getting a buff. They are removing the shared cooldown time after the duration of Awakening Rune, so we will now be able to use other abilities while this one cools down. Venom is being buffed. They are adjusting the knockback effect of Frenzied Arrival from a vertical to inward with an inward knockback angle of 75 degrees. They are also reducing his ultimate charge from 2800 down to 2500, so we will now be seeing a bit more of his ultimate throughout the matches. Now for duelists, and Black Widow is first, and she is getting a very welcome buff. They are increasing her max size from 8 to 15. They are also buffing the slow effect from her ultimate from 80% to 55%. Additionally, it would now apply a 15% vulnerability effect to hit enemies for 4 seconds. So it seems Black Widow may no longer be the least picked character in the game.
Don't what? Don't give me hope.
It seems that they may have nerfed Hawkeye a bit too much with his last update, so this time they are buffing him. They are increasing his base health from 250 to 275. The projectile damage of his blast arrows will be reduced from 15 to 20, while the spell field damage will be increased from 25 to 32. They are also reducing the cooldown of Crescent Slash from 15 seconds to 12, and lastly, they are increasing the bow draw speed during his ultimate and raising the damage multiplier from 1.2 to 1.35. Hela is getting a small buff to her basic attack's fall-off damage at 30 meters, which is 70% now, but will be decreased to 80% with this update. So Iron Fist is getting a pretty hefty rework with this update, and this is all what's happening. They are reducing the damage of Jeet Kune Do's first, second, and fifth strikes from 32 to 30, while the third and fourth strikes will deal 15 damage instead of 16. The final sixth strike will be reduced to 50 from 55. The cooldown reduction for Dragon's defense has been extended from 1 second to 1.5. The damage of each hit from Yat Ji Chang Quinn will take a hit, dropping from 19 to 10 flat damage, including during Living Chi. However, each strike will now deliver an extra blow, dealing damage equal to 1.7% of the opponent's max health, including during Living Chi. They are also increasing the additional max health granted by Harmony Recovery from 50 to 150. A new decay mechanism for the extra health will be introduced. 1 second after the ability ends, the additional health will deplete at a rate of 25 health per second. The max bonus health converted from damage blocked during Dragon's defense will be increased from 150 to 200. And lastly, he will be getting an increase to his base health from 250 to 300. So it seems to try to make him a lot like Wolverine and be another tank buster, which is pretty cool, I think. So y'all let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on this are, and if you think it's a good idea. Iron Man is getting buffed, as his Unibeam damage will be increased to 140 a second from 120. Also, while on Armor Overdrive, the Unibeam's damage will be increased to 190 a second from 180. Now, I don't think this is entirely necessary, and for all my Iron Man mains out there, y'all let me know down below if you think this is a pretty good buff or not, but there is a reason behind this buff, and we'll see that here in a little bit. Magik is getting a small nerf, as her regular Demon's Rage, so not her ultimate, but the damage is getting reduced from 80 a second to 70 and 2. On the flip side, her ultimate's energy cost will be reduced from 3700 to 3400. so we will be seeing a lot more of Darkchild during matches. Mr. Fantastic is getting buffed. They are increasing the spell field radius after landing from flexible elongation from 2.5 meters to 5. Additionally, flexible elongation will now have a knockback effect, launching enemies outward within the area upon landing. The recharge time for a single use of flexible elongation will be adjusted from 8 seconds to 10. They are also increasing the damage of his ultimate from 50 to 75, but they are also increasing the energy cost from 2800 to 3400. Additionally, a new damage decay mechanism will be introduced. The spell field damage will begin to decrease starting at 3 meters and will reach a maximum reduction of 50 at 10 meters. Moon Knight's ultimate is being slightly adjusted. So they are reducing the Hand of Khonshu's Talon's falling speed, and then the previous mechanism that dealt 75 damage when positioned in the center of the ultimate will be removed. They are increasing the damage of each hit from 75 to 150. So it seems to me that this is more of a buff more than anything, but you let me know down below what your thoughts on this is. Scarlet Witch is getting a nice buff to her ultimate. She will now gain 100 bonus health upon activating her ultimate. After the ultimate ends or it's interrupted, the bonus health would decay at a rate of 50 a second. So now we may be able to start pulling this off more successfully and more consistently. Spider-Man is getting a small buff as his web cluster's energized time will be reduced from 3 seconds to 2.5. Star-Lord will see an increase to his rocket propulsion's max energy from 1200 to 1800. Storm is getting a nerf for herself but a buff for her allies. They are increasing the damage falloff of her basic attack at 30 meters from 70% to 60%. They are also reducing her damage increase from thunder during weather control from 16% to 12%. However, the damage increase for her allies within range will be increased from 8% to 10%. Also, they are reducing her damage increase from enhanced thunder during weather control from 30% to 25%. And now on to Strategist. Adam Warlock is getting a nice buff. They are increasing the damage of his basic attack from 55 to 60. Furthermore, the damage fall off at 40 meters will be changed from 50% to 60. He is also getting an increase to the healing amount provided by Soul Bond to linked allies from 10 a second to 15 a second. Cloak and Dagger will be getting a nerf. They are increasing the energy cost of their ultimate from 3400 to 4000. The healing amount of each segment will be increased from 220 a second to 250 a second. However, the duration will be reduced from 10 seconds to 8, and the pause time between each dash will decrease from 1 second to 0.67 seconds. Also, each segment will no longer stack when overlapped, only one healing effect is applied. Additionally, the camera control is unlocked during the activation of their ultimate. Cloak will get a bit of a buff to the vulnerability inflicted on enemies by Paracape from 20% to 28%. Invisible Woman's ultimate will be getting a nerf as the energy cost will increase to 4300 from 4000. Loki will also see a nerf for his ultimate as the energy cost for his ultimate will increase to 4000 from 3400. However, he will also be getting an additional 2 charges for his basic attack. And lastly, Luna Snow will also see a nerf to her ultimate as its energy charge will also be increased from 4000 to 4500. There are also some team up changes. The team up with Luna and Iron Fist will see a buff for Luna as they will increase the healing amount of Frozen Chi from 50 to 75 and the slow effect on enemies from 20% to 30. Magic, Black Panther, and Psylocke's team up will give Panther and Psylocke a nice little buff. They will reduce the rewind time for them both from 5 seconds to 3, however they are increasing the conversion ratio of lost health to blue armor from 0.5 to 0.8. Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Hulk's team up will see a nerf for Iron Man and Hulk. Iron Man's Unibeam damage while on Gamma Overdrive will be decreased from 220 a second to 200, and Hulk's team up anchor health bonus will be reduced from 150 to 100. Cloak and Dagger and Moon Knight's team up will have a new effect. Moon Knight's full moon ability will now continuously heal him for 25 per second while in the effect area. And lastly, Venom, Spider-Man, and Penny Parker will see a change to their ability. They are reducing Spider-Man's suit expulsion duration from 4 seconds to 1 second. However, they are replacing the 50% damage reduction effect with a new invincibility effect during that duration. And Penny's armor explosion duration will be decreased from 4 seconds to 2 seconds, while also replacing the 50% damage reduction with the invincibility effect. And that is all the patch notes happening tomorrow or whenever you actually see this video. Pretty exciting stuff. You know, I feel like this was more of a redemption arc for a lot of different characters. We saw Black Widow got a nice little buff for her ultimate, which I think was pretty necessary and needed, and pretty exciting because I mean, it already feels like you're really slow whenever you're in an ultimate, but now that they've made it a lot of a bigger, slower effect, it's going to probably feel like we're standing still. And then you added on top of that the 15% vulnerability effect. Now that, I mean, it's going to be pretty exciting to see her. I can't wait to try her out. Scarlet Witch got a nice little buff for her ultimate where she now gets bonus health when activating her ultimate. So maybe now we can kind of start seeing more success when using her ultimate, and not just dying immediately when you start to hear the chaos. But and then Captain America got a buff as well, so which I think I'm hoping is really good for him, because I know he is considered to be one of the worst, if not the worst characters, or not characters but tanks in the game. So maybe hopefully this kind of changes it up a bit, a little, and we start seeing more of him around. We are getting 2 new characters tomorrow. We are getting the Human Torch and the Thing, so pretty exciting there. They both look really cool and really fun. I can't wait to try them out. And then out of everything that happened with this patch notes, for sure Iron Fist was the biggest one that's probably gonna be talked about the most. They did work on him quite a bit. It does seem like he's gonna be more of another tank buster, which I think is pretty cool. We already have divers who go after strategists, and then you have your overall duelists like that do for range. But I think Wolverine being the only tank buster right now, if you add in another one like Iron Fist, it just kind of now you kind of get a bit more of what do you call it, another strategy, if you will, with these characters. So I can't wait to see that and see how well that does for him. The healers got changed too. The Luna Snow, Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, their ultimates got a bit nerfed. And like I said before, unless they drastically change how their ultimates work, there's not really much they can do in terms of nerfing their ultimates, except for what they did now, which just make it to where you won't get it as often. So when I do hope they do eventually maybe change it, or just introduce new characters who have a more unique ultimate when it comes to being a strategist. So pretty exciting stuff though, and I can't wait to see it all happening tomorrow. But if you did enjoy today's video, do me a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already. Make sure you comment down below what you think about today's patch notes, what you would have liked to have seen, what you liked, what you didn't like. Let me know all that stuff down in the comments below. And of course, do not forget to smile today, guys, because it will make your day and everybody else around you brighter. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.